So here I'm just freehanding it, and as you can see, I am laying it on a lot heavier. So today is the day we're going to be dyeing the fabric, and I've got my fabric here. The glue has dried. I've got the dye soaking here in the water, and to that I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to stir that up until it's dissolved. Okay, in the meantime, my dye should be dissolved. I'm going to give that a stir too. Now my concern here is that I'm not using warm water as the package indicates because I don't want to melt the glue. I still have lots of chunks. Okay, I'm just going to let that sit a couple of minutes. While that's sitting, dampen my fabric. It is supposed to be damp before it goes into the dye bath. Let's just leave that and get this into the dye bath. Let's give that a stir. Let's just get this glass over here. I've got my table covered with plastic. So let's just get this into the bath. I'm going to try to separate this. Soak that in. Okay, so now I'm going to get my timer started. And this has to be stirred for 15 minutes. I probably would have been better to get heavier gloves and maybe just manipulate this by hand. Now after the 15 minutes is up, I should mention that you should still be stirring it occasionally for the next 45. So it's going to be in this bath for a good hour soaking. Now I really can't tell if the glue is coming out. Looks like it's still there. I don't want these folds to resist the dye, so I'm going to get in there with my hands. So after 15 minutes of stirring, it's going to sit for another 45 minutes, and it's counting down now. Stir it occasionally during that 45 minutes. I'm going to give it another stir in just a minute. This is messy work, so be sure you have plenty of paper towels, that you have plastic on your work surface, plenty of gloves. Time is up, and I'm now rinsing the dye out of the cloth. So the water's cold. You're just going to rinse it until the water runs clear. As you can see, there's still dye releasing. What's really interesting, this is supposed to be 100% cotton, but if I look at this seam allowance, or sorry, if I look at this selvage, it's almost white. Now if I come over to here, some of these cross threads, they're black the way they should be. So this is turning out to be lighter than I expected. I just hope that it doesn't all come out. I think a good indication though is that I can see my pattern. The glue is still on after all the dye is washed out and the water's running clear. Then we have to rinse it with warm water and some soap, and we have to release the glue. And then we're going to get this dry and ironed, and we're going to do a fun project with it. I put the fabric into the washing machine.